Good evening, guys. I'm Nishchay. I'm from India. That technically makes me third Indian speaker, I guess, in the right hand. So I'm going to talk about people and climate change. And I think, in the instance I say climate change, the one picture you create in your mind is this one. And it's like sea level rise, all chaos. I think that's true. That's the traditional view we have, because a lot of news channels show us. Because you talk about climate change and they show sea level rise and all of this. And eventually, I think it might lead to this. But that's what I think climate deniers use to confuse people. That they say climate change is not real because your houses are not submerged yet. But I like to differ, because I think climate change is real and it's impacting our lives in ways we don't fully recognize yet. And I would like to show some photographs of my travel. For example, here in India, I went to the region called Spiti. It's in the northernmost part of India. And I was volunteering with an NGO and I met Mr. Kunga here in the photograph. And you can see climate change is also impacting his life, as in the case that things we don't experience here in big cities, that for him the challenges are water scarcity, food scarcity. And I believe climate change worsened that. But the ray of hope here, I guess, are the very NGOs that are trying to help these guys to meet their needs and have a food on their plates daily. And therefore, it impacts the life of the many people who are working with these NGOs. Like Mike here, he lives in Croatia. He's half American, half Croatian, and he's working with this NGO. And he volunteers with this NGO to help people to be self-reliant. By self-reliant, I mean that he's trying to teach people, for example, here he's a carpenter, so he's trying to teach people that how to make your own wooden articles, wooden furniture. And we followed his instructions, we learned some basic skills and we tried to make some furniture out of it. And the message to take away here is that we don't have to buy things from the supermarket because simply it's available. We can source it locally, and because we are making it by our own, we know where the raw materials are coming from. And for example, here it's the waste wood that we are using, and we are creating something out of it. And the other message which I believe is the core of it is that the problem of climate change is very huge, and people are sort of accepting it, maybe late, but they're acknowledging it and they're fighting against it. And that's what I experienced last December in Poland, that people in thousands, they are outside. They're marching in support of action against climate change. And they're trying to urge their governments basically to try take some affirmative action so that they can do something about it. They can make this so-called just transition to renewable energy path. And I believe that in these times, when you might think that maybe what we do as an individual doesn't make any difference, and especially when one of the most powerful people in the world, he doesn't accept climate change as an issue. I think it's terrible, but still the ray of hope here is like the collective efforts we take. And I also try to take some time what bit I can do, and that's the reason behind this talk, that to aware people about climate change and to make them understand that climate change is very real and it's there, and it doesn't matter if we believe it or not, but it matters if we take collective action. And if in future you get motivated and you try to take any action against climate change, and you get yourself in doubt, you find yourself in doubt, I always try to remember this quote from a very famous movie in The Hobbit. And I won't read line by line, but it's like a food for thought, that definitely the evil here is climate change, and it's us, the ordinary people, it's our simple act that make a difference. And with this, I end my talk. Thank you.